The presentation I'll give is in Hebrew, but I'll speak in English for the benefit of hosting our friends here. Okay. I want to leave current affairs. Put them aside a second. All the challenges we have, put them aside and talk about a vision of what do we do with the Palestinian neighbors? What do we do on the day after? When I finished being mayor of Jerusalem for 10 years, knowing the population, knowing the challenges, I took 3 years to gather a concept, a vision of how I would like to see how we live with our neighbors, the Palestinian neighbors. Now, I'm against a two-state. My party is against a two-state. And we're also against a one-state. So what are we for? Being against is not a solution. You have to come up with a proposition that you believe in, that is feasible, that can be executed. And I've been pitching this in the last 4 or 5 years. The vision that I learned from Dr. Moti Kedar of the autonomies, the concept of Emirates. And the idea behind the concept of Emirates is because on every stable governance structure in the Arab world is based on tribes. You see that when you try to put many, many tribes together, it falls apart. Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. But when it's stable and based on governance structure of tribes, it's very stable. In the Arab world, there's hierarchy of commitment. Well, by far the highest commitment is to the tribe. Then it's to the country, and then it's to the whole world. And when you ask the Arabs, who do you vote for? They answer, that's the Western question, the answer is, what does the Sheikh say? There are no elections in Dubai or in Riyadh. There were elections in Gaza. So it's not about election, it's about what is the right solution for the Palestinian neighbors in Israel or in Judea and Samaria. And so while I've been pitching this for a while, the war happened. And the war sharpened something very, very clear. The residents of Judea and Samaria, at least some of them, understand what they don't want to be like. They don't want to look like Gaza. The concept of Oslo failed, and now there's another alternative which is called the Abraham Accords. They understand that with the relationship Israel has now with the Abraham Accords, there's an alternative solution, which is they want to be like Dubai, and they don't want to be like Gaza. And the sheikhs of Hebron, the city of Hebron, understood that clearly. They hinted to me they want a meeting, and this January 25, I brought them to my home. And I sat down with them and learned, is there an opportunity for both sides, Israelis and the people of Hebron, to collaborate together for the benefit of the day after? We had over 25 meetings together. We've looked at the situation from all sides. They gave me a letter of intent. And the letter of intent says the following, the title of it is, we want to leave the Palestinian Authority and join the Abraham Accords. They come to realize that this is the right solution for them. They want to develop an emirate and replace the PA, the Palestinian Authority, in their region. They want to put aside Oslo and redo the Oslo Agreement. I'll expand on that in a minute. They recognize Israel as the state of the Jewish people. First time ever, the PA did not. And the bottom line is that there's wide acceptance in Israel for such a bold move. It's totally out of the box. But when people think about it, it makes sense, especially, this is not a theoretical discussion. It's a discussion with the sheikhs, the leading sheikhs of Hebron. What are they saying to me? They're saying, Nir, you Israelis brought those corrupt people from Tunisia that took everything in the wrong direction. We are here 700 years, and they intend to be here hundreds of years more. The Palestinian Authority does not recognize their leadership in Hebron. They're the opposition to the PA for many, many years, for 31 years. And what's interesting is that these sheikhs have really good relationship with the settlers, the Jewish settlers right next door. They know each other for years. They understand this is real. In Julani, in Syria, we know there is a jihadist with a suit. We don't know if he changed his mind or not. But the sheikhs of Hebron, the settlers know them very well. When I brought Yossi Dagan and Israel Gantz and the leader of Kiryat Arba, Bramson, to meet the sheikhs, they know each other and they believe that they could work and collaborate together side by side. Here's the difference. The difference between the Emirate of Hebron, if you like, or the Emirate concept, and the Palestinian Authority. The PA actually wants to replace Israel from the river to the sea. The Emirates understand Israel. They want to live side by side to us. The Palestinian Authority do not recognize Israel as a Jewish state. The Emirates do. The Palestinian Authority pays for slay. They pay $1 million for an Israeli, for somebody that kills an Israeli. The sheikhs want to guarantee safety. And if somebody hurts an Israeli, they will hunt him, go after him. They understand that they have to have peace, and they're taking accountability and responsibility over their people. The Palestinian Authority gives us a very hard time in the global marketplace. The sheikhs want to support Israel and live side by side to us. A few things that we've been discussing together. First of all, security. They recognize and realize that Israel must have total overall security. What they want is district police. I've been sitting with them, with an the chief of police of Jerusalem, to help them define what is the right structure of police. They don't want an army. They don't need heavy weaponry like the PA does and wants. All they want is to keep order in their house. They want the tourism back, like it was before the Intifada. They remember that the best place to do shopping was in Hebron. They want that back. They want us back to tour in Hebron. Another thing they said is that they're going to tell everyone, the Hamas, the Jihad, and Fatah, they're saying to them, bring your weapons back home. Nobody is going to have weapons. It's like, imagine that in the United States, the Republicans have their own army, the Democrats have their own army, the Likud has our army, the Labor has army. No way. They want to manage this all by their local police, governed by the sheikhs. And this is very interesting because basically they're saying that they could take care of all of the challenges, the terror challenges that today, because they're family. And if and when some will still not listen to them, then they will use the Israeli Shin Bet and Israeli police to further have order. I want to stress another very important point, and that is to bring people to work in Israel. Currently, I oppose, like the rest of my government, we oppose allowing people from the Palestinian Authority to come and work in Israel because they get paid to kill Israelis. However, if the sheikhs guarantee, they give us a list of people that they guarantee that they will be, that they will not harm us, then there's no problem to let them in. This differentiation is key to expand this issue to other places in Judea and Samaria. Hebron first, we call the deal. And once they take those guarantees, we will allow them to come and work in Israel. This is a huge deal and big differentiation between Hebron, that wants peace and joining the Abraham Accords, and the ones that are stuck with Oslo and want to get rid of us. There's a huge new area for industrial zone that we're now planning, midway between Hebron and the rest of Israel, sort of right next to the Green Line. 1,000 acres, over 4,000 dunam, which will probably employ 30,000 people. It's a joint effort. We started planning the region. We started planning it. And by the way, mind you that security is going to be very, very different. It's going to be much, much more secured, much, much more hopeful. Huge interest in the United States to invest in areas like this because it bonds the Abraham Accords in many, many ways. It's going to be multi-purpose, not just industry and commerce. Think about hospitals. medical services that could be advanced and enable more and more Israelis and Arabs that live on both sides of the line of the region to enjoy services and other things. Okay, we all agree that we must replace Oslo. The concept of Oslo was separation. The 40 chapters of Oslo talk about how we separate. The sheikhs of Hebron want a piggyback ride on Israel's capabilities in water, in electricity, in health, in roads, in jobs. So we have to redo all the chapters with the goal of having an emirate, an independent emirate. And we have to work out some of the details. There's many, many models in the world with still up to be discussed. And we really want to have more and more international collaboration. I was in the United States last week in Washington, and somebody asked me about investments in Judea and Samaria or in Gaza. So basically, when you today invest $1 in Gaza, you don't see a return on the investment. However, here in Hebron, they're a third of the population. They're about more than 500,000 people that are represented by the sheikhs, but they're almost 50% of the GDP. They're good business people. The investments there will create jobs and prosperity, exactly what we expect from the Abraham Accords. And they're all in collaborating, and they're seeking those investments that will increase their GDP per capita in a big way. So what does this say to the international world? First of all, it's the sheikhs leading this. They came to us. It's their initiative. We're not imposing on them. We agree with what they want to do. And this is fundamental key. It is self-determination of what they want to do. When the sheikhs met 4 congressmen 4 weeks ago, here in Jerusalem, we had dinner for an hour and we stayed for 3 hours. They were amazed at the genuine, real approach of the sheikhs, the seriousness of what they're saying, and they're waiting for the right opportunity so that Israel and them could close this deal. And I believe that the opportunity is not far away. And once we do that, I believe this is the first major step in resolving the challenges between Israelis and Palestinians. When you have some sheikhs, serious people, talk to me, and naturally I share this with my government and the Prime Minister, of course, and we understand that this is becoming real. I would like to see France, England, Britain, Australia. What are they going to say to the sheikhs? When the sheikhs are going to come to them and say, hey, you want to recognize the Palestinian state? We are the people that live here. Recognize us. We seek peace. We seek to join the Abraham Accords. The Palestinians, the PA, want it from the river to the sea. They want to get rid of Israel. We want to live next to, side by side to Israel. Recognize us. Don't recognize the people that spread terror. And this is fundamental, in my mind, for the day after. So people ask me, what do we do with Gaza? What do we do with the mess in Gaza? And basically what I'm saying is that the solution for Gaza goes through Hebron, to propose something that works well and demonstrate to the world that us, Israelis, really care about the life of our neighbors as long as they recognize us and don't want to kill us. So we have peace with Egypt, 46 years. With Jordan, 31 years. The Abraham Accords we're celebrating this week, if I'm not mistaken. 5 years of warm, real peace. Today, when I go to the Emirates to discuss collaboration with my peers in the Emirates, I see how serious they are. They're totally committed to peace. And this is exactly what I find when I meet the sheikhs of Hebron. It can be different. And I believe that the vision of removing Oslo from off the table and focusing on an alternative solution that does better for them, it's more stable for them, it comes from them. I believe this is a real discussion on the day after. And the reason I'm saying it now, while all the turmoil and all the challenges and the differences in Israel, which I fully respect, other people's opinions, that's fine. I think that we should discuss, take our binoculars, look a little bit ahead, and derive from that vision, what do we do tomorrow morning? Thank you for listening.